Matt Barzal checked in at 42 last year. This year, jumping all the way up to number 30. Barzal, for as much skill and talent as he has, pretty durable guy. Played in 336 of a possible 337 Islanders games, both regular season and playoffs, since the start of his Calder Trophy rookie season back in 2017-18. Barzal has led the Islanders in points for 4 straight seasons. The last Isles player to do that was their former captain, John Tavares. When you think of Matt Barzal coming in at number 30, what jumps out to you? Just skill, talent, and elusiveness.
It's all those things, and I think the latter, to me, is one of his greatest attributes, J-Mo. The thing that, really astounds me where Barzal is concerned is just that ability to escape laterally, side to side, among the best players in the game today. Top-end speed, top-end puck handling. Yes, he's got a great shot, but that ability to change direction laterally, to throw off false information. And I'll tell you what, when you get this player underneath the face-off dots, underneath the hash marks in the offensive zone, I think he's as hard to contain, as hard to defend against as there is in this game today. Here's a guy, you go back a couple of years, a pair of 60-point seasons back-to-back. When he steps on NHL, rattles off 80 points plus to win the Calder. To me, given that he's on the brink of getting closer to that peak physical strength, I think I see an upward trajectory, an upward tick in Barzal's game. I think he gets back to that point-per-game territory we're accustomed to seeing.
How about the evolution of his game? Of course, he wins the Calder Trophy his rookie year. It seemed like all offense, and then maybe had to take a little bit from that offense to round out his 200-foot game.
Right.
How about the way he's evolved the first couple of years in the NHL?
Well, where does that come from? It's from Barry Trotz, and Barry Trotz teaches that kind of structure. So no question that Barzal has had to not only buy into that, but I think benefit from that ultimately to be able to add that to his game. And again, you see one of the greatest defensive, contributions a player could make is to spend more time in the offensive zone. That's exactly what Barzal does. A lot of detail to his game. He has benefited from a Trotz administration, and I like the way the future looks for Matt Barzal and his Islanders as we transition forward, 21, 22, and beyond.
All right, trending in the right direction, that's for sure, because Barzal, 42nd, as we mentioned a year ago, up to number 30 on our list this year. And much like Matt Barzal, Connor Hellebuyck also climbing the ladder on our charts. Ranked 36th a year ago, up to 29. The goaltender for the Winnipeg Jets, one of 2 goalies to win 20 or more games in each of the last 5 seasons, joining the likes of all-world netminder Andrei Vasilevsky. He's also finished in the top 5 in the Vezina Trophy voting in 3 of the past 4 seasons and has a Vezina to his name at that. When you think of Connor Hellebuyck checking in at number 29, much like all goalies in the NHL, he's big at 6'4", but man, is he flexible and he's athletic.
Yeah, he really is. And, he checks all the boxes where elite-level goaltenders are concerned, J-Mo. Yes, he's big. Yes, he's rangy, very flexible, very determined. There are a couple things in my estimation that really set Connor Hellebuyck apart from the rest of the field. One, it's that determined nature, and it's that really consistent approach and that investment in his personal fitness that makes him one of the more consistent across the truly elite level goaltenders NHL wide. But the surface area, and again, this is the athleticism and the flexibility working together in tandem. The ability to kind of create as much surface area, blocking space as possible in the net is again a second attribute to me that makes Hellebuyck a really remarkable tender at this level. 2, the pad work, the footwork, he's really astonishing. Frustrated a lot of great shooters across the NHL.
When you talk about that footwork, what do we see on the ice that makes that footwork so noticeable? Is it just that he seems to be always in the right position, doesn't have to make the flashy save?
2 things. Yeah, it's of course positionally, but when you focus right in on the footwork, it's that flexibility and that athleticism to get a pad to a spot where it needs to be. But then number 2, and these are great clips to kind of show that, it's the strength that he can apply, whether it's the left pad or the right pad, to kind of be all the sturdier in position in net to turn back even the second attempt or an attempt after that. So really a remarkable collection of attributes in Connor Hellebuyck. And again, with the exception of a down year going back 3, perhaps 4 years ago, where you may have seen a drop where he gets into the low 900s just in terms of save percentage, he has been a beacon of consistency over the course of his NHL resume.
All right, Connor Hellebuyck checking in at number 29. He's probably number 1 on the list, if we had a list, of goalies that have the weirdest pregame eyes, right? You see him sitting on the bench and he's doing that eye thing.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. It works when it comes to the 60 minutes.
Don't knock it. It works for Connor Hellebuyck.
Exactly. Alex Pietrangelo checks in at number 28, the defenseman for the Vegas Golden Knights. Took a little while to get going in Vegas in his first year in the desert. Just 14 points in his first 31 games, but finished strong with 9 points in his final 10 contests. Followed up that strong finish in the regular season with a solid postseason. Petro, 12 points and +8 in 19 playoff games out in Vegas. Alex Pietrangelo checking in at number 28. Stu, last year he was 26, so he falls 2 spots. Defenseman, but when you think about this guy's game, loves to jump up in the offensive attack.
He really does. General manager's dream. Comfortable playing every part of the game. He's a great leader, brings all kind of leadership experience from a cup-winning team in St. Louis, but he's very skilled in terms of how he defends from the blue line. Remembering, again, a St. Louis product, he's part of that big, rangy, agile defense core that really were hard to play against for Boston and many other opponents going back to the St. Louis Cup year. But Pietrangelo, you're exactly right, JMO. This is a guy, you watch Alex Pietrangelo play, you're probably seeing him when the team occupies the offensive part of the zone. You're more as accustomed to seeing him up underneath the hash marks in the offensive zone as you are on the blue line, kind of shoring up the blue line from the back end.
But when asked to be a shutdown defenseman, can also
good at that.
Do that as well, yes. Tell us about that. 6'3", this guy can shut it down when he needs to.
Absolutely. Big, rangy, agile, long stick, a lot of reach. And I'll tell you, there's a premium for a defenseman like that in today's game because the forwards, especially the high-end guys, are trending towards kind of smaller, and they can do things, create opportunity in tighter spaces. What does that mean? Or the challenge for that is for defenders to be able to get into that space, take up more space, and effectively shut down those smaller, skilled forwards. That's where, you pay the premium for Pietrangelo. Vegas looks great with Alex as part of their top 4. All
right, Petro, the former Blues captain, now in Vegas, checking in on our top 50 countdown at number 28. Jack Eichel dropping from 15 a year ago down to number 27, but not too bad considering he missed 35 games this season due to that neck injury. Over the last 5 years, Eichel has recorded 299 points in over 294 games. Among the 2015 draftees, only Connor McDavid and Mitch Marner have more career points than Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel checking in at number 27. This may be the most polarizing name on our list right now as far as where his ranking comes in, because he didn't play a lot last year and everything that's going on in the offseason right now. As far as the ranking goes, where do you have him ranked?
Yeah, I've got him right in there. I'm taking him kind of mid-20s without question. I believe that's where I scored him as we're populating our list. But Jack Eichel, to me, irrespective of the off year, the skill set remains, JMO. And the thing I'm fond about saying about a Jack Eichel is, he tends to be one of the more cerebral players in our game. For the most part, forwards especially, even the high-level guys, high-end talent guys, they tend to play on a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline. Eichel is different in that respect. Yes, there is pace to his game, but he tends to be a little more cerebral. Again, kind of outsmarting his opponent and using that top-end skill set, whether passing, whether the great release and firing one to the back of the net. But he's a rather unique individual while competing with the other top players across the league. Interesting to me, really just once in his career have we seen Eichel approach kind of that 30-goal mark, depending on the landing spot, assuming that he leaves Buffalo, we might see, kind of a new trajectory for somebody like Jack Eichel.
Wherever he goes, he's going to help that team out offensively, especially the power play. Potent on the power play, especially on the half wall. What makes Eichel so effective?
Again, I think it's that really cerebral nature to his game. Again, he's almost, rather than on his toes, he's almost back on his heels, waiting for the defense coverage to kind of open up a seam, thinking the game, outsmarting his opponent, maybe giving off a little false information, creating the appearance that he's going somewhere that he's actually not. But again, a great passer, and then two, does have a great release from that half wall if shot's a better option. Jack Eichel is a threat on the power play.
Ryan O'Reilly jumping up 5 spots from 31 a year ago to 26 this year. One of 5 players to record at least 50 or more points in each of the last 8 seasons. O'Reilly, 614 career points, the second highest total among 2009 draft picks, behind only first overall pick John Tavares. Centerman for the St. Louis Blues and captain Ryan O'Reilly checking in our top 50 countdown at number 26. And Stu, we always talk about winning puck battles on the ice. If there's a puck out there, more times than not, this guy's going to win that battle. What makes him so good?
Odds are he's going to do it, without question. It starts with the determination, JMO, and he is infuriating in terms of the opposition forwards he plays against. He's great with that stick. He's got that nasty little kind of toe curve way up high on the stick, and for that reason, he's always continually stripping opposition forwards when in a puck battle down low. Great example of that right there. Really strong on the puck, really doggedly determined just in terms of winning those puck battles. And yes, there's the offensive upside that comes along with all that. A really consistent performer. Love me some ROR, do I, JMO?
Factor.
And nicknamed the Factor. Yeah. Picked that up while he was in Colorado. If he's on your roster, on most nights, he's going to be a factor.
Always a factor. Certainly factored in 2018, 2019, won the Selke Trophy. Yeah. So when you talk about a 200-foot game, this guy certainly has that.
You've got to have that game to win that trophy at this level without question. And yes, it comes again with that offensive upside, that skill set on the offensive part of the game. But there is no question, especially if you're asking anybody that plays in and around the St. Louis Blues, his ability to shore things up and to shut people down in the defensive side of the game, far and away, one of the most important attributes he brings to the roster, night in, night out. Just that ability to kind of stabilize things, settle things down in the defensive zone.
And clutch when it counts the most. Since joining the Blues, 37 points in playoff games in 39 playoff games. And nobody more important to that Stanley Cup championship in St. Louis than Ryan O'Reilly during that season. Ryan O'Reilly checking in at number 26.